So welcome to another edition of Lama Live. Von, where are we heading?
Heading home.
Oh. So if I was going to clickbait this video, it would be called She Bought a House or We Bought a House. But clickbait titles don't work for me. I'm sort of searchable tech and things like that. So this one would just be Lama Live. I might put So We Bought a House later on after the Lama Live part. Anyhow, we're off to Ballarat and yeah, a car full of stuff, as you can see. So you won't see the beautiful scenery out the back. You may see some out the side here. These are just general chats that we have about all things that have happened during the week, bikes, tech, other observations, and I will also link below where you can download these in MP3 as well. So if you don't want to sit here in the car and watch us, you can download MP3, listen in your headphones and go about your business, or Alt-Tab to another window. So Von, how you been?
Been good, been busy,
Yep.
been good.
Been good? You been on the bike this week?
Yeah. Went out with the Rafa ladies. It was really good.
Yep. And Zwift Academy, you knocked out a couple of those workouts?
Yeah, done a few of them. It's been good. And a few group rides. But I'm not sure I'm going to be able to fit it all into my schedule at the moment. So I would have loved to complete it. We'll see what we can do in between moving and, oh yeah, there's a lot going on.
There is just a small amount going on. That's why we use this time in the car when we're in transit to do Lama Lives and to shoot the breeze. So this week, I think one of the biggest things in the Zwift world was the new logo or the new rebranding. We knew it was coming. It was under wraps at Eurobike. Did I see? No, I hadn't seen it at Eurobike.
I knew it was coming.
We knew it was coming. We knew something was coming. I was worried it wasn't going to be orange.
Ah.
I thought
Well, it's not in some of the promo activity.
Actually, yeah, good point. I'll throw a few little logos up, or the shorts, I think you'd call it, videos here and here and here.
I like the blue one.
The blue one looks pretty cool. The first thing I noticed on Zwift.com, they had everything painted orange. Again, orange, it's good they've kept that same colour, which is good. There was a cat on the couch, and the cat wasn't looking impressed with the person on the bike.
Was the cat orange?
No, and somebody mentioned that. They're like, I wish you had painted the cat orange, but imagine the feedback they would have got if they did paint the cat orange.
Plenty of orange cats out there.
No, this is bright orange.
Oh.
This is not Donald Trump orange. This is bright carrot orange. Anyway, so that's caused... Hang on. Yep, more coffee this time. Just excuse me while I get my caffeine fix for the second time today. So there's a lot of talk on the logo. Von, your first reaction? It's only a logo, remember, so it's all in good humour.
I was unimpressed until I actually saw the promo shots where I saw people riding using it like a window. That actually made sense to me. So yeah, and my initial impression wasn't the best, but I actually like it now.
In the latest Zwiftcast, we were asked, what we thought of it. And the Zwiftcast can't be a let's hold hands and group hug about how good Zwift is. Sometimes we're going to play bad cop. I played bad cop. I don't like the logo. I really don't. To be honest, when I first saw it, I saw it by itself, almost out of advertising context. I saw the, what do you call it? The angles and all the explanation of how to properly, the science behind it all, because somebody's been paid many, many thousands of dollars for this. And I was like, WTF, mate. It was... Anyhow, so on the Zwiftcast, listen to that and you'll get my take on it. But I thought I was a bit worried because a few things that I've said on the Zwiftcast, just my opinion, because it is, we're allowed to voice our opinions. I've been pretty balanced on the Zwiftcast most of the time. I've been pulled to the side a few times at what I've said on the Zwiftcast, but hey, that's what it's all about. I thought I was really going to get in trouble for what I said for this, but everyone knew. We said it with a smile, I think, and Simon Schofield, the man behind the Zwiftcast, who we had on the channel the other day, he does video now, so you can see our reactions to what we're saying, and that helps a lot.
Yeah, puts context around it.
Especially around, a lot of people don't get me. I either speak too fast, or I'm a smart ass, or this or that, and there's been a few misinterpretations of me. I think that's come across exactly how it should have been.
But also Aussie humour, so to be able to add the smiles and context around it.
Actually, that's probably a very good point. I think my biggest audience is America, and we love America. Oh, more on that soon. I think, some people don't quite get... Anyhow, it's all good. The logo used in context, I think, works quite well. Yeah. Don't tell John Mayfield that. he was like, I can't believe you're talking about the logo. Oh, like he can't believe people. John, the main developer of Zwift, said, I said to John, don't listen to the latest Zwiftcast if you're a bit concerned about what we're going to say about the logo. He said, mate, if you're talking about any logos, I'm going to skip it anyway. So
he's not that interested himself.
Not interested. Anyway, it's all good.
I'd love to meet John one day. That would be great.
So, look, now, one thing I will bring up with the logo, I still like the old one, and I still like it's still orange. So I still have a lot of bottles and things left over from all the swag that I've gotten from other Zwift events we've done or when they've visited. So the logo isn't outdated because it's still orange. I call it the retro or the classic Zwift logo now. Or people call it the skinny logo. So, sorry to ramp on about this logo so much. We've had a lot of fun in the Zwift community about this. Let me pull up a few of the favourites that I've seen this week on the logo. One of them was somebody mentioned the fat Ferrari because the logo is super fat. So the fat Ferrari, which is down in Tasmania. Somebody gave me a fat llama to then change my logo to because it's fat llama. I did a Zwift power-ups as seen by the Zwift logo.
Okay.
Hard one to explain. I'll put it on the screen here, but you have the double points power-up, you have the small points power-up, you have the aero power. I've put that all in the logo, so I've had a bit of fun with that. And somebody put up a Z is for zebra today. Which is cute. Now, whilst John said he can't believe people are talking about a company's logo that doesn't impact them. It does impact a lot of people. We see it all the time on our screen. But the fact that we're talking about Zwift's logo and not other companies' logos, that's still a good thing. I still think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
We've got the spare time to do that. So what a privileged time we live in. Anyhow, Pete Donahue from Perth. Would have been about a year ago. Somebody posted a picture of their calf muscle on the side with a big Zwift logo that looked like it had it tattooed on. It looked really good. I'm like, damn, that's some good. Is it hentai tattoos? Is that the henna tattoos? Is it that are just ink that you put on your hands and they wash off? I thought, that's a good one. So I've messaged Pete saying, nice one, mate. Is it real? Yeah, I thought he was having a laugh. He sent me the photo of him at the tattoo studio, getting that tattoo and work in progress. I'm like, you are kidding? Yeah, that's real. Legit.
Wow.
It's legit. So
is it black or orange?
No, it's black. Yeah, inky, tattooy colour. And is that a colour? But it's not an orange logo. It wouldn't go too well on pink skin. It was real. I sent him 2 bottles at the time, again with the old logo on them. That was a while back. There's a really, really cool story about, I won't give it away, it's in the Zwiftcast. I'll use this as a teaser to the Zwiftcast, but either listen or watch the latest episode of the Zwiftcast, I believe episode 35.
More on the tattoo.
More on the tattoo there. It's a good news story. And yeah, I like it. Just proves that Zwift are a cool company. So more on that later. What else is happening? So this house move we're doing, I guess one thing to remember is Strava privacy.
Yes.
So wherever, and this is just a reminder, I haven't set up my privacy zones yet because we haven't actually moved in. One thing to do, just a reminder for everybody, Strava you can go on the public leaderboards and you can put your posts to Strava. You can still be request to follow on Strava, but still appear on public leaderboards. One thing that you should do, and I recommend everyone do, is around your house where you live, you can put an exclusion zone. So your rides finish randomly 500 metres before home. So
and
people just
around your work as well.
Yep. Anywhere where you frequent. Now, I'm not too much of a tinfoil hatter. I don't sort of get too paranoid about, I'm aware of data privacy issues and things like that and how it can be used and be exploited. But one of the things, it's pretty much your house and where you're going to live. You don't want everyone to know that information, with just a few clicks, and anybody in the entire world can find that out with a few clicks. So I'll put a link below to setting up your Strava privacy zones, and I'll be setting up this afternoon for our new place and a few frequent places around Ballarat. But it doesn't exclude you from anything else. It's just be a good net citizen and do that, I think. Also NBN speeds. Now NBN in Australia, it's our national broadband network. For a pretty free country, we're very controlled by the government when it comes to internet regulation and broadband speeds. Long history behind that in Australia. There was a rollout of copper when the telephone network came around.
That was a government
in the 1960s, I think.
Yeah.
And it became obviously the telephone became an essential service. That was all government controlled. That was sort of unregulated many years ago. telecom, Telstra. This is the very brief overview as I know it. And then broadband came along with DSL. Oh, there was cable, but that required other infrastructure. DSL came along. Now, the DSL technology is ADSL 1, I believe. Uplink of that. For me, it's all about uplink, getting content up. Download speeds were between 8, or I think it's up to 8 or 12 on ADSL 1, up to 24, 25 on ADSL 2. The uplink on those, I think, are still around. They're more than 1 megabit. The Australian government said, no, we're going to have, we'll limit our services to 1 megabit. So even to this day, with the newest ADSL 2 plus whatever connections, we've got 1 megabit upload. Horrendous. Step in, new governments many years ago to take Australia into the future, or into at least
present.
Into 20 years ago, I guess, and to have broadband, which is now known as NBN, the National Broadband Network, which has been an absolute catastrophe of a rollout. Anyway, not to bitch and moan too hard on that. Rural areas got the priority. I think my take on that was because it was easier to put up a tower in rural Australia, cover X amount of square kilometres and say, hey, we cover 50% of Australia already. Yeah, but they only cover like 2% of Australia's population. It's easy to put up one tower and cover, X amount of people rather than put up you can't do wireless in the city for that reason. It just doesn't scale too well, as I understand anyway. So anyway, long story short, the place we're moving into has fibre straight to the house, which means maximum theoretical speeds of 100 meg down and 40 meg up, 40 megabits a second, which is 40 times what we currently have. Now this allows us to do a lot more. As you can expect as a content creator, well, am I a content creator?
Yes, you are.
It's still a weird term. I upload stuff. It allows us to do a lot more. So video calls, conferencing calls, have multiple people in video calls at full HD.
4K, man, 4K.
Well, we've got a telly. Actually, that is a 4K. That's the only 4K television we own. Yeah, exactly, 4K. And things like that. So to move into the future, that was hooked up. So we've been waiting 2 or 3 years in Melbourne, where we currently are, to get that. It's still a year away. And I won't tell Von this, but the guys were actually pulling cable yesterday at the front. They actually rocked up and started pulling cable to the Telstra guys. And I said, oh, guys, NBN finally here in Thornbury. What's the ETA? And they're like, oh, it's still another 6 to 12 months away, mate. I'm like, stick it.
You snooze, you lose,
See you later.
boys.
So, but once the infrastructure is in, it's all good. It's happy days. I signed up to Internode, and within 24 hours, the service was on. Done. Easy as that. So looking forward to that. Speaking of the speeds, and speaking of the power of the internet, let's check those speeds right now. So back with time travel again, Von, how about those speeds?
Oh my God!
That's unbelievable. So different to what we had. Now, because I'm pre-recording this, we're going to have to do 2 takes of that in case the speeds were bad. Von, can you believe that?
Oh my God!
I thought it would be so much quicker. I said theoretical speed of 40 up. I was only getting that.
Call those boys back in Thornbury.
Jesus. Yeah, someone needs to pull the cable out of somewhere. Anyhow, I'll cut that footage in, so hopefully it's going to be good. I've got the modem in the back here. Other things on the cards. We hit 32,000 subscribers on the channel this week.
Woo!
Which is just... Eurobike was really good. There's a lot of good content for that, and it's becoming trainer season, Northern Hemisphere. So a lot of my searchable content, and a lot of the informative content, and even things that people haven't done. So how to service an indoor trainer. No one's really had a Neo long enough to need to service it. I kind of have, so I serviced it, pulled the camera out. The Neo servicing video did well. I've done a Kicker original servicing video a while back. They're just things that I'm doing anyway. So it's good to pull the camera out, and they're doing really well on the channel. So I do appreciate anybody who's a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, thanks for watching anyway. And there's a lot more to come, especially with that new internet connection. Did you see those speeds? Unbelievable. Oh, did you see those speeds? Double take. So coming up. Well, first of all, we have to pick up some keys. We may do a quick tour, just the one room. We're not going to run through a tour of the house. No one cares about the house. What I care about, and what I think everyone will care about, is the new pain cave. There's a new pain cave. Flooring's already in. Well, we got the guy to leave the flooring there because there was a gym there already. So we'll go through a quick walk through the pain cave, or what will be the pain cave, now. That's huge. Vaughn, what are your thoughts?
I can't wait to see it set up.
It looks pretty empty when it's empty. And we've only got one trainer with us in the car. There's 20...
You brought a trainer?
I don't leave home without an indoor trainer, you know that. So,
you're crazy.
There's, I think, 20 boxes of trainers sitting back home that are going to be transported up during the week. So we'll get all that set up, we'll get that kitted out, and that'll become a studio where I can just walk in and flick a switch and just make things. And lighting is very, very important. I've been upstairs in the studio upstairs recently, and the lighting up there with the autofocus and the camera is just much better than downstairs.
Well, everyone else has seen your last studio, right, and how you set it up. What do they think you're missing? What do you need in your new one?
The kicker desk is coming.
Yeah.
I love the kicker desk. That's one thing that's missing from my Winter is Coming video that I keep pointing people to recently for setting up a pain cave. I had the music stand studio, but the kicker desk is...
I used it on the weekend. It was actually really, really good.
I keep banging on about it, but it is that one piece of equipment that... Well, I've probably got a few, but you get it and you're like, oh yeah, this is not too bad. Like the iPad stand, I use it when I need to mount the iPad and do a few things, but that kicker desk...
Nice.
When I want to jump on the bike and do a session, but I've got to load up and do some work, it just works. It solves the problem.
No.
Just access to things. Kicker desk. We might need another kicker desk if there's going to be two bikes there. I need two bikes set up in the studio, so when Von wants to come and do a session as well. So there'll be two. Again, it'll double up everything. Two televisions. Today I was riding. Just some beta software. I Zwift on one screen and some beta software on the other screen just to ride along and see how that all works. Just to be across its interactivity with the trainer. So the two stations we're bringing along, most definitely, but let's see what we can do with that room. I'm really excited to build a new pain cave virtually from scratch, but set it up how we want.
Yeah, now that we can control a room.
And mount tallies on the wall. I think I'll go from the tripods to on the wall. Though you have cables running down, it just saves a few inches of the big tripods. I think that'll be the way to go. We shall solve problems, maybe put it on YouTube at the same time. Looking forward to it, really am. The Bowral Classic is coming up. There's a Gran Fondo up near Sydney that we've entered a while ago. Unfortunately, we didn't enter any accommodation.
Yeah.
And Bowral's a really small place. And
it's a country town it's south of Sydney, it's just off the main highway, so you probably wouldn't normally stop there. That's one of the main things. It's being bypassed, yeah.
Like Holbrook.
Yeah.
So I think Courtney Barnett spoke about that bypass.
Yes.
Poor Australian music reference there for the very small amount of Aussie viewers. We can't find anywhere to stay. Now, so here's my rant on that. If you're going to have an event somewhere that's so popular that people can't actually go there, then you need to cap entries. So we've entered just assuming there's going to be a sufficient accommodation. There's not.
We're a couple of weeks out and there is zero accommodation.
And it's a 7 a.m. start or a 6:30 a.m. start, so you can't stay any more than 50k away.
Yep.
And there's no accommodation anywhere. So yeah, anyhow, I think that that's why events, I guess, fail or succeed or reach a certain level as they are, because our 2 entries are probably just going to go straight in the drain anyway because we can't get there. It's a 9-hour drive one way and a 9-hour drive home, and like hell I'm sleeping in the car for that.
We'll be spending enough time in the car.
So I'm really disappointed at that. It's our own fault, but just event planning around, where's a good place to hold an event? Bowral? Probably not a good place to hold an event, but we'll see. Speaking of events, Around the Bay is in 2 days' time, on Sunday. Today's Friday. Around the Bay last year, now here's a callback to another video we did last year. Von did it by herself, 220 k's around the bay, and it was the worst northerly winds we've ever come across. So I rode halfway down to Mouldy and then sort of came back and helped tow Von back home.
Boy, was I happy to see you. I may not have recognised your face. I was that delirious, but it was good.
We got sandblasted. I remember that because it's next to the beach, the sort of the last 50k home up into Melbourne. Horrendous headwinds. But anyway, that event is on Sunday. We aren't doing it, obviously. We're doing Melbourne to Ballarat a few times. Not the race, in the car. So I'll be looking at the Strava data from that. So my predictions of what devices will be in use around the bay. Number one will be the iPhone app for Strava. That'll be clearly number one. 20% of that value will be the Android app for Strava. It's usually the case. I'm making some safe bets here, but we'll see how it pans out. And then number two will be the Garmin 520, Garmin Edge 520. And number three will be the Edge 1000. I believe around the Bayers will be Edge 1000 users. We'll see how that pans out. But somebody mentioned in the comments a few months back on one of my other videos that the figures don't mean anything, they're not correct, etc. That's a bit like shouting at a cloud. It's just data. It is correct, and it's there, and I'm just presenting it. There's no motive between me or behind me saying it is a certain device when it's not, and it mainly becomes from the Android versus iPhone wars. But
yeah, it's a sample of attendees that upload to Strava.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that Android is less popular than iPhone. What I am saying is the data that I'm pulling out is exactly what it is, and it continually shows that iPhone is far, far more popular for the use of recording data and uploading to Strava for the sample sets that I get. And there's no disputing that. There really isn't. Again, it's like shouting at a cloud. It's there. Interesting stuff though. Got some good run stats coming up as well. And speaking of run, Kona is up in a couple of weeks.
Ooh.
So I can now get swim, bike and run data.
Nice.
So SBR data from all of Kona, the Ironman World Champs, Ironman Full World Champs. We looked at Chattanooga the other week, which is the 73 Champs.
Yeah.
Really interesting, and it's a ton of data to go through as well. It's really hard to grab all of it because you've got male, female, you've got bike, swim, run, it's kind of cool though. I don't know, I like to nerd out on that.
Shout out to Liza Rochetto, I think, who's doing Kona.
Right?
Yeah.
Age
hardcore.
group, open, all the above?
Well, she'll be amazing. See how she goes.
All right, Liza Rochetto.
Yeah.
She rode for Vanderkidden or what was the race? She rode for
Hagenbergen Supermint.
Hagenbergen Supermint. Okay, one of the pro domestic teams in the US.
Yeah.
And
She
they
came
were
over to Australia.
over for the Tour Down Under early in the year.
Yep.
And that'll be just around the corner too. What'll be in October? That'll be coming up soon. So the Pro Tour, I think, is wrapping up this weekend, or the World Tour final race is at Lombardia, I think. And then that's it for Pro Tour until Tour Down Under.
Yeah, that's the first one of the season, I believe.
January. Australia.
Come to
About
Adelaide.
600 kilometres this way. So we're a little bit closer to Adelaide.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. All right.
Other events coming up. We've got in 18th of October is Ride to Work Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Australia have a Ride to Work Day. They have bike counters on every corner, or a few corners in the city. There's a lot of corners. But they grab data, they grab stats.
So the concept is you leave your car at home, get on your bike and get to work and see how you go.
And Von, how far is your Ride to Work going to be?
Well, it's going to be over 100 Ks. So I'm going to get a posse together from Ballarat and we're going to ride to Melbourne.
I've known one, Jim Crumpler rides from Ballarat every year, and I'm like, you're crazy. What are you doing getting up at that time? I think Von's going to...
I'm going to see if I can find his wheel and hang on to it for
sit
hell.
on Jim's wheel and then train home.
Yep.
No, I won't spoil the fun, but Ballarat to Melbourne is downhill, and usually a tailwind. The other way is uphill, and usually a headwind or a bad crosswind.
Yeah, that's what I've raced before.
Yeah. I've never ridden Ballarat to Melbourne. I've ridden Melbourne to Ballarat a few times. There's really good routes. 4.5 hours going pretty hard, I think's it.
Yeah.
So you'd be probably the same going the other way, given its trajectory is downish. You never know. This time of year, the weather can be anything, as we saw around the bay. It can be windy or hot. It could be. Yeah. Who knows? Cool. What else is going on, Von? I do have to bring up one rant Von had during the week. What was your rant, Von? Because we're cleaning out cupboards and packing things.
Boxes and
Now,
bits and pieces.
Today I'm using an Elite Fly. It's, thanks to Matty Heyman for the bottle. He's actually, Matty Heyman signed this at Eurobike for me. I was going to keep it as a souvenir, but I needed a bottle, so thanks, Matty.
Yeah, my rant this week was around bottles, bottle colour, bottle configuration, because we need to do a bit of a cull at our place. I'd had a few that we probably needed to get rid of. And one of my key things is around bottle hygiene, like making sure that you don't have any mold in the bottle, the external surface scratching and that kind of stuff from the outside. How much do they get scuffed up by your bottle holders? How squidgy they are, that's a good one as well. Do the lids stay on? But the key thing, you may not think much about it, is about the bottle colour.
Yeah.
So if they're black bottles, how do you tell if they're getting mouldy or they've been sitting on the bench too long, or if they come into the washer and there's still something on there?
Yeah.
Like, how do you tell when they're black bottles?
So black bottles are out.
At this point in time, I think they are. Yeah.
I think that have a smaller or a shorter lifespan in our household, black bottles or darker bottles, because of that exact reason. We usually get a scrubber in them as well, or put them in the dishwasher. These have been really good. This is the Elite Fly bottle. We just happen to have them in the car, so we'll talk about them. But this is the squeezy, lightweight bottle from Elite. And as I showed you before, you can see right down in it, so when there's mould. And Von, to share the love, has the Tax bottle.
So I'm running Tax, yeah.
Same thing, it's a white bottle, so you can see inside it. So just watch that in your bottles. Don't drink out of it, especially even around the edges, the bottles themselves. I can't really show you inside that because it's got water, but you can see, just check your bottles.
In the inside seal of the bottle as well.
Yeah, but I'm a fan of the squeezies. I thought that'd be a little bit too light, but I don't know, I like the squeezy bottles, but they're a good size for this type of year. Coming into summer, we'll probably go to the 750ml ones.
Yeah, in summer I like to run 2 bottles, one with drink mix, one with water.
Yeah, one to put fires out and one to hydrate with.
I'm a fireman!
But I thought that was interesting because, there's fashion and then there's practicality.
Yeah.
So for the pro teams that grab bottles and just chuck them, it probably doesn't even come into play.
Colour.
But just watch that because you can get some pretty funky things growing inside water bottles. Yeah. We can't end on that note. Okay, another hot tip while we're in the car. We have bikes on the roof.
Yeah.
There are Mouldy racks that we have. I run the 561 racks with the wheel off on the front. Not an advertisement, just what we use, but how we keep reminding ourselves they're on the roof. We have a little pink, we usually pop this open a little bit, but I've closed it for the sound, but we have a pink little thing here that says, bikes on roof.
Bike on the roof.
And we clip that to the front of the car, just a little air inset, so it's in our visual all the time, just to remind us. But another tip is if you've got a garage that you're going to be driving under with an auto clicker, and that's the one that you don't want to drive into, as soon as you drive out, put the clicker out of reach or put it in a different spot that you do not usually just grab and go and click for. So our clicker here, we'd either put it in the glove box or put it in the passenger side door. So when you're driving home, you can't just accidentally forget about it.
Right.
So hot tip for bikes on the roof, and hopefully the guy in front of us with a bike on the roof has done the same.
Good.
So no driving through Macca's drive-thrus either. So it's one of those things you just have to be conscious of. We've also got something else that hangs down here, but during filming it's not good to have something dangling like that. So hot tip.
Good tip.
Finish on that. Let's get this broadband set up. Well, first of all, let's get some keys to a house. Let's welcome Von to her new house.
So I can Shane to his new trainer room.
I'm calling it Von's house because she's done all the hard work behind the scenes to make it happen. And I'm pretty much focused on the trainer room and that fibre connection that's coming in. So hopefully we're all hooked up. We're going to find out soon. I'm going to re-edit this video to put it at the start. And we're going to have a heap of fun with that. So tons of equipment coming up just for footage, and it's a whole summer of riding coming up as well.
Oh yeah.
Tons of tech, tons of stuff. There's
share it with your mates.
I can't even share what is coming up because there's just a ton of it, and there's a lot. Okay, we can share that bit. We're looking at going to the US in November, and doing a bit of a route around the West Coast. Well, by a route around the West Coast, we mean San Fran and LA. That's it. That's all that exists, doesn't it? It's like when people want to go to Australia, they go to Sydney.
It's like Melbourne to Adelaide.
Actually, you'll see most of Australia if you go Melbourne to Adelaide. The parts that count. Oh, by the way,
No. Well, that flat land in between.
You'll see a few roos and a couple of kangaroos.
Border town.
Border town. I did have a crack at Tasmania the other day, and someone actually triggered on it.
Oh!
Simon Schofield from the Zwift. To call back to the Zwiftcast we spoke about at the start of the video. Simon Schofield's over doing a lot of Australiana stuff, so we went from Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, Coffs Harbour, Sydney, Melbourne, and then home. And I said, oh, it looks like you've covered everything that counts in Australia because you've missed Tasmania. Oh, that triggered someone off. But it was said with a smile, and for exactly that reason, just that we love Tasmania. Though I've never been there.
I've never been there. I'm sure we love it.
I keep getting invited there by somebody. A knight, of all people. I keep getting invited by a knight.
I gotta do that one day. I want to get a knighthood.
It's 10 hours. It's 10 hours on the bike.
What's an Everest?
Oh!
What?
More on that soon. A lot of people Everested on Zwift the other day,
Yeah.
and something happened,
Bam.
which is very cool. Anyway, I'll leave it on another teaser. Sorry for so many teasers on this one, but we've got
cliffhangers.
we've got tons of stuff coming up, but we are just coming into Ballarat. So everyone, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Tons of stuff coming up. Comments below. Just say hello. That's all. Where you calling in from? Say g'day if you've listened this far.
Where are you riding on Ride to Work Day? Tell me all about it.
Not from Ballarat to, please don't.
Jump on board. I'm drafting.
Von's second wheel, you can be third. All right, thanks for watching. We shall see you soon.